Hello, friends. I'm Kathy Fay, Executive Director of the Boston Early Music Festival, or BEMF, and I'm delighted to welcome you to this pre-concert talk as we look forward to the upcoming and final performance of our 2021-2022 concert season, featuring the extraordinary Ensemble Correspondances, Friday, April 29th at 8 p.m. in the beautiful sanctuary of St. Paul Church, located in the heart of Harvard Square here in Cambridge, Massachusetts. It is my honor to introduce our two guests, Christoph Wolff, world respected for his numerous books and scholarship on the music, life, and period of Johann Sebastian Bach, emeritus professor of Harvard University, and member of the corporation of the Boston Early Music Festival, and Sébastien Daucé, artistic director and founder of Ensemble Correspondances, internationally acclaimed organist and harpsichordist, and publisher of numerous articles about 17th century music. Welcome, Christoph and Sébastien. Sébastien, our upcoming presentation by the sublime singers and instrumentalists of Ensemble Correspondances marks your third performance on the annual Boston Early Music Festival concert stage, following your critically acclaimed North American debut at the June 2017 Boston Early Music Festival. We are thrilled to welcome you back to Boston and Cambridge in person, and we so appreciate the extra precautions you and the ensemble have taken to safely and responsibly travel from your home country of France. For those willing to attend our Friday evening, April 29th performance in person, I shouldn't say willing, I should say wishing, tickets are still available, and we'd be thrilled to see you. For those unwilling or unable to attend in person, virtual tickets are also available. Our video broadcast of this performance premieres on Friday, May 13th, and will be available for 2 weeks until Friday, May 27th. Please visit the BEMF website at bemf.org to secure your in-person or virtual tickets. Finally, I'd like to thank Glenn Nickram and the Constellation Center Charitable Foundation for their generous leadership support of this performance by Ensemble Correspondances. So with that, I will now disappear from the screen and turn this pre-concert discussion to my two esteemed colleagues, Christoph Wolff and Sébastien Daucé, who will shed light on this fascinating program Sébastien has prepared for us, featuring music of two prominent German composers and organists, Dietrich Buxtehude and Heinrich Schütz. Thanks to both.
Thank you. Okay, if I may start, Sébastien, I take the major works you have selected for your program is the very sophisticated composition by Dietrich Buxtehude, a large-scale cyclical work. And I wonder if you can say a few words about what you consider special about this particular work.
Yeah, first I have to say I'm very honored just to speak with you, because I know your work, I know your articles, and yeah, it's an honor and a real pleasure. Maybe the link between Correspondance and this German music is not so evident, obvious, as we are more specialized in French music, in French repertoire.
Yeah.
But I think this is one of the probably of the most touching work I've ever heard before. When I was young, I had this work always on a CD in my room. I have a sort of natural link with this music. And after having played so many music by Charpentier, I feel there is something linked between these two composers in the way of writing the harmony, in the way of conducting the counterpoint, in the way of searching new things, in the way of involving the singer in the text. I think there is something very intense in this music, which is linked to Charpentier and our usual music. So the link was first in the nature of the music. Maybe secondly, it was also linked to our group now, as we are a team of I don't know, 10 singers and 2 violins and a continuo. So this work is perfectly sized for our group today.
Yeah, I mean, it is a very intimate work and highly expressive. And what you say about, you know, the relationship of French features in, you know, this Buxtehude work, it is really true, because Buxtehude is one of the German composers who tries to integrate tradition from Italy and from France and to integrate it into his work and turn it into, you know, his own musical language, which is quite distinct. And that, of course, is what in another period Johann Sebastian Bach appreciated about Buxtehude's influence in, you know, the music of, you know, the earlier generation.
Yeah, I think there is something exactly as you said, with many influences, with many ingredients that make it very rich and also universal. But there is also something very original, as it is. This music looks like nothing else. And of course, there is a general German style, but I think there is in this work by Buxtehude something very personal. And probably this is why I linked this work with Mit Friede und Freude, but it could be linked also with the beautiful Klaglied. I think the 3 works has something in common. They are very personal works by Buxtehude. Yeah, there is this influence, outside influence, and the very rich style, and probably a root for many composers after him. But it is probably the thing that touches me a lot. It is this intimate, very personal thing.
Well, in fact, it is personal and quite unique, because there is nothing like it in you know, the output of Buxtehude. So it's really very special and stands all by itself as a composition that basically has no parallel elsewhere, and that includes his contemporaries.
Exactly, and I think it is also a reason for this choice, as this construction with 7 cantatas, with this, like, you know, a meditation on the body of the Christ. This construction with 7 cantatas, the form that makes these 7 things, the idea of a construction on 1 hour of music, even if it was not necessarily made to be played together. But I like this idea of a cycle, a construction, a great form of music. And I think we can also find that with many composers who were searching. Of course, Bach is the first, but I think also Charpentier. You have in his music, for instance, meditations for the Holy Week. You have a cycle of music for the Advent period. So you have this research of a new form of music, and I like this this way of thinking music. It's not only doing the same as the generation before, but it's always looking for something new with a great idea of the form of music, but also of the sense of the text connected to the music. And yeah, this is probably that's why this music is so touching.
Yeah, I mean, also the way it is constructed as a cyclical concept is very special. You know, of course, the Latin poetry that Buxtehude bases his work on, you know, moves up, you know, the body of Christ from the feet to the face, you know, and the way it moves up indicates that Buxtehude goes one step further, you know, with each cantata, and especially when it comes to the core, you know, the heart. You know, he changes the sound of the ensemble by introducing viole da gambe, which have not been heard before, and you know, will not be heard after. So it sticks out. So, you know, the core piece, you know, from the point of view of construction of sound, you know, is really, you know, a very special central piece. And so it goes for, you know, all 7 cantatas, which begin, you know, with an instrumental introduction, a sonata, and then a chorus for, you know, 5 voices, followed by arias for individual voices and instruments. I mean, it's an intimate ensemble, not a big choir, and you know, an ensemble only of generally 2 violins and basso continuo. So, you know, the kind of intimate size is directly related to, you know, the intimate expression of the individual pieces.
Yeah, what you're explaining is that the music tells its own interpretation of the text. The music says more than just saying the text with notes. The music says that at this moment, it is a special moment, and the sound will change. So even if you are not a specialist or a musician, you will hear that at this moment, there is something special. And I like also this idea of a composer is also an interpret of the text. He is also a reader of this poetry, and he has something to tell to us with his music on this poetry. And I like this idea. And just to react on this idea of who are the musicians who will play this music, I've chosen to play it with 10 singers, which is a possibility, but it's only the score is noted only for 5 singers. But I've worked on a special manuscript, which is in Uppsala Library, in which you can see the indications of Gustav Düben, who was the composer who ordered the music to Buxtehude for the court of Sweden. Right. And it's very interesting to see how this music has been probably created in Stockholm at the end of the 17th century, because he took the score sent by Buxtehude from Lübeck to Stockholm. Right. It was a tablature. I don't know the word in English, but it's like a
tablature. Yeah.
Tablature. Yeah. And when Düben makes the copies for each instrumentalist, for each singer, it changes many little things. And one of the change is that he notes that at this moment it is a solo part. At this moment, all the singers on this voice. So we can imagine that there were more than one per part. Yeah. So I've chosen to do this kind of opposition between solo and a little choir. He asked also for a viola part, which is added in more than Buxtehude sent to him. So we have many details to make this Membra Jesu Nostri a special version maybe close to the creation at the end of 17th century, but probably the Stockholm version of this music.
Wonderful. So I can not wait to hear how you put it together in a Stockholm version for Cambridge, Massachusetts. That's very good. Now, I wonder how this second and third Buxtehude piece works into the concept. You have chosen to conclude the program with a large-scale Buxtehude chorale cantata, and in the middle you have this work which Buxtehude wrote, in memory of his father, Johann Buxtehude, in, I believe, 1674. So, this is a wonderful series of Buxtehude pieces, and I wonder how the second and the third piece fits into your concept.
Yeah, the idea was this Membra Jesu Nostri, for me, asks something individual and personal. So I was interested to link it to a music on this special text, Mit Fried und Freude, ich fahr dahin, right. Which is a vision of what should be the death for a Lutheran people. And I like this idea of a music linked to a memory, linked to the memory of his master, to the memory of his father. And I know that when a composer is working for a prince, for someone who asks for a piece for the court of I don't know where, is not the same as when he's writing right. for That's himself, true. For right. a friend, for the memory of his father. So I was interesting to invite a music who was very personal to him. And I think this Mit Fried und Freude, with this text, with this writing of 3 viols under this choral of the girls, is something very intense, very short, but like a souvenir, like a memory, a very personal memory. And it was also linked with what he has in mind before. As I've chosen, when we discussed with Katie, we wanted to have Schütz music. Schütz is the great master before Buxtehude. Is the one probably at the root of the German style. So with the Schütz music, with the Mit Fried und Freude, it's the world before Membra Jesu Nostri, the world that constructed the personality of Buxtehude. So for these 2, Schütz and Mit Fried und Freude, this is the idea of before, of the memory and everything that is constructing this very original Membra Jesu Nostri. And I've chosen to open the program on something, maybe more positive, more brilliant, because we are talking about death, about memories, about disappeared people. To conclude, I've chosen a beautiful Buxtehude choral cantata on a beautiful text, which is used in the Patience, of course, but it's also used for Eastern, which is Herzlich, the cantata Herzlich, and this is also a sort of manifesto of Buxtehude music, as it is so complete, so intense, so beautiful, the writing of the violins that we had in the Membra, but also with the 3 violas we had, the 3 gambas that we had in the 6th cantata, the core you were talking about. So it's like a global summary of all the program, but opening on something lighter, and maybe, yeah, something like une forme d'espoir. I don't find the word in English, but like hoping on the future.
Yeah, and that is, I think, closely related to the text of, this Lutheran hymn, Herzlich lieb hab ich dich, O Herr. In English, I love you dearly, O Lord. So it's a very positive expression that you find in the 3 stanzas of this Lutheran hymn, and the way Buxtehude presents it, with a full-scale orchestra and chorus, really makes it, a very jubilant kind of conclusion, because the chorale ends, in the 3rd stanza, I will praise you eternally. So, the expression of eternal praise, translated into music, can't be more effective than it's done by Buxtehude in this beautiful cantata.
Exactly, and you have a lot of style in this cantata. You have very expressive style, for instance, for one alto and a soprano together, just searching and constructing dissonances with a very expressive rhetoric. You have also this dialogues with 2 high voices, 3 low voices, always exchanging. You have a beautiful sonata for the instruments to start, but with a choral above it with all the girls. You have a lot of different style, and of course, as you said, the triple music for the end, for the jubilation, the intense joy of looking after death. And yeah, I think it's like I told a manifesto, but it's like if Buxtehude had to demonstrate to prove his most intense talent, I think he could have write this beautiful work. It's like showing to the future generation how talented a composer of this time could be. And I like also this idea of a testimony for future. And I think this work is something like that.
Yeah, it's really having an outlook on the future of music and the world in general. So I think it's a wonderful way to end the piece, the concert. I find it also intriguing that you inserted works by Heinrich Schütz, which I think you refer to as demonstrating where Buxtehude came from. So Schütz in many ways is the first important composer in the history of German music, and so many things are important that flow from Schütz's music into the successor generations of composers. And although this collection of motets from which you have picked 2 pieces comes fairly late in Schütz's life, it is published in 1648 as Geistliche Chormusik, spiritual choir music, and that really is a collection of motets in which he teaches how to deal with words. And I think that is, where Buxtehude also learns his language of music as related to the text. If you take, for example, the piece Die mit Tränen säen werden mit Freunden ernten. So, this sentence that has two very different characters. Those who sow with tears will reap with joy. So the contrast, of weeping on the one hand and expressing joy on the other, within one sentence in two quick segments, it really also makes the listener aware of the intimate relationship between words and music.
Exactly. You summarized very perfectly this idea, but this music by Schütz is a very specific moment in the German history of music. All the influence, like every great composer, Schütz is influenced by many others. Right. He looks everywhere. He wants to understand everything. He feels the music of the others and want to take the best to construct his own style. And the Italian influence is very interesting because in this influence you have the power of expressivity with the link between music and text, which is the research of the Italian music at the end of 16th century. So you find all this research in Schütz music. You will also understand that at this moment, rhetoric, the rhetoric of music, of construction of music, is very important. So you can feel that very clearly in Schütz music, as you said with this example. Mm-hmm. So you have in this music like a summary of the world before, but the route for the following composers. Yeah. And I like this idea of this Sagittarius, this composer, like in architecture, when you have this kind of voûte, you have the key, and I think is like a key in the German architecture. Right. We also know that Buxtehude and then Bach, then many others, many Romantic composers knew this music and found it incredible. So I'm not probably it's not my native language, but each time I see this music for 10 years, I find I always think this speaks to me. We have recorded the Passion, the last seven words of the Christ, and it's so simple, but everything is there. You don't need effects. You don't need artificial things. Just the perfect message, and the music gives you the way to go at the very intense sense of the text. And I think Schütz for that is also a model for Buxtehude and Bach and the others, as he has this perfect comprehension of the text is writing on. So the music is not only a way to hear this text with notes, it's also a way of understanding more than what is written. Right. And I like that because it gives you, of course, we are talking as specialists of this music, but I think when you don't know anything on this music, when you hear this music just with the text on your knees, you can understand more than just what you read.
That is very true, because it really is exemplifying how music enhances the text. You can read the text and what do you think about the text? But the reading of the text doesn't really necessarily touch your heart. But if it really is now presented in musical form, it reaches another dimension, from the point of view of expressivity.
Yeah, for the and the intensity of the meaning, but also the like an amplification of it. First of all, because when you read a phrase, it takes 5 seconds. When you hear the music with this same text, it can last 2 minutes, 3 minutes. So you have the time to hear twice, 3 times or more. You have the time of hearing it in a certain manner, then in another, by this singer, but also by this one. Yeah. So this is a way of amplifying also the message.
Absolutely. I wonder, are you performing the Schütz pieces a cappella, or with instruments doubling the vocal parts?
I still don't know.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I think we will rehearse on Monday, so we'll discover the music together. I know it by heart, but the musicians will discover it on Monday, and I think we will work in many possibilities, and I think we'll change depending on the place.
Wonderful. I think that's typical of 17th century practice. Schütz gives the option of doing it a cappella, or with doubling instruments, or if one voice is missing, to replace the vocal line with an instrumental line. So there is a lot of experimentation that Schütz gives official permission to, and I think it reflects 17th century practice.
Yeah, and maybe we will have one in a cappella and one with the instrument, if the acoustic is okay with the 2 solutions. Maybe right. It's also it's a detail, but it's changed the world in which you are evolving. When you have a cappella music with this kind of counterpoint, with this kind of writing of style, you are on the 16th century side. If you add a continual doubling instruments, you are going to a Venetian style and probably more in the 17th century. So maybe we'll have both. I don't know yet.
Now, I think this is a wonderful program that altogether really presents a rich panorama of 17th century music history, with the roots in the 16th century, in the tradition of polyphonic a cappella music, and then, reaching into the later 17th century with the participation of instruments, which gives vocal music a new drive and many more facets in terms of language of expression. So I think this is going to be a program that permits the audience to really discover the kind of tradition that in the 17th century emerges, but has its radiant function into the 18th century and the later masters. Thank you so much. I think we had a wonderful discussion, and I hope our audience learned something from it.
Thank you very much, Christoph.
Thank you.
Thank you.